next hour with our Zen, Buddhism, Zen meditation practice. And so I just wanted to ask if anyone does have a cell phone on you, please silence it. If you would like a cushion behind your back, you're seated in a chair to help you sit up straight, feel free to do that. Is anyone here new to meditation? Maybe never meditated? Okay, one person. Is anyone new to Zen meditation? Okay, all right. Good to know. All right, so I will explain meditation techniques and Zen. One thing that Zen meditation is a little particular about, as opposed to maybe the meditations you'd come to here the Tuesday evening or Saturday, is I won't be talking while you're meditating. I'll give you instructions and directions at the beginning, and then you'll do your best to follow those instructions. We'll ring the bell, and then we'll have a discussion, okay? So I won't remind you about your breath. I won't remind you any of that, okay? We're kind of on your own with that. So before I delve into it a little bit more, those of you who do meditate, who would be willing to share why they meditate? Even if you only meditate rarely, why do we meditate? Go ahead. What's your name?
My name is Michael.
Michael, thank you.
One of the reasons that I started meditating was because I had a lot of turmoil, mental
turmoil.
turmoil, and one of the things that I have found that meditation helps with is to quiet my mind.
Great.
And when my mind is quiet, I can act more skillfully.
Great. So it quiets your mind. Okay. Very good. Who else would like to share why they meditate? Go ahead.
In a similar way, it makes
And your
me.
name, I'm sorry?
I'm Sam.
Sam.
It makes me less reactive and more responsive. Of course, not just in the time when I'm meditating, but to various stimuli throughout the day.
So that's nice. So even off the cushion, you're feeling the difference.
Mm-hmm.
So less reactive. Okay. Anybody else be willing to share? Why do they meditate? One more person.
I meditate to calm down,
To calm down. Okay.
emotionally and mentally.
Okay. And does it help you with that? Okay. Because it might not always, just to say that. Okay. But good. I'm glad that works for you. Yes.
I'll say that it just quiets my thoughts and it allows me to focus.
Right. Okay, great. Quiet your thoughts allows you to focus. Yeah. I'll just share why I meditate. I've been meditating for a number of years, and I noticed the difference. Well, I've sometimes had gaps in my practice where I don't meditate for whatever reason. We can all come up with reasons, excuses, etc. I notice the difference in how I feel. I don't feel as calm. I don't feel as, I feel more reactive. Okay. So for me, what meditation does is when I'm just with my breath and my thoughts come up, I get to see those thoughts, acknowledge the thought, come back to the breath. But in noticing over and over and over, you're going to notice patterns. Oh, there's that judgmental mind again. There's that critical mind again. There's that whatever it is. And you kind of notice that, and then hopefully you'll be able to do something about those feelings. Now, some people find when they first start meditating, they feel worse. They're like, I didn't know I was such a shitty person. I have all these awful thoughts. And we need to have compassion for ourselves too, okay? Because who we are is who we are. The meditation just allows us to be able to see it, okay? So if that's ever your experience, or let's say you do a meditation and you feel worse afterwards, just know that was that meditation then, and that's all there is. We can't generalize and say, oh, they're all going to be like that. I don't want to do this anymore. But we'll see our patterns. We'll see that sometimes if something's uncomfortable, we don't like how it feels, we run away from it. Okay? Maybe we've all been in situations where something was uncomfortable. We're in a relationship, we're in a job, we're in something, and we don't like it. And perhaps rather than deal with it directly, we're just like, I'm out of here. Okay, so you're going to notice your own patterns, okay? And sometimes it's not a pretty picture. And sometimes it is. Sometimes you find out that you're kind of a better person than you thought you were. So I just wanted to ask you, you said you haven't meditated. What brought you to meditation tonight? What was behind your thought?
It's the same reasons. I just want to quiet
Quiet your mind. Okay, great. And just know for your first meditation that you do tonight, you're gonna probably be pulling your mind back over and over and over, okay? I'll teach you a technique, and thoughts will come in, and that's normal. It doesn't mean you're a bad meditator if you get lost in thought. Just notice it and then come back to the breath, okay? All right, so I'm going to, I've been reading this book lately, After the Ecstasy, the Laundry by Jack Kornfield. Anybody familiar with Jack Kornfield? He's kind of a famous Zen writer. And so what this refers to is like, you probably hear about people who want to become enlightened, and what is that? We don't want to set that up as a goal. But let's say you have an experience of clarity where you're in a meditation, and at the end of the meditation, you suddenly feel different. Maybe everything seems clear. Maybe the sounds are clearer, the colors are brighter. We might say that that was an enlightenment experience. We might not, but we could say that. So, you could get really excited about that. And then what? Then go do your laundry, okay? Because we have to go on with our lives. So meditation being part of our lives, it's a special part, no doubt, but it's part of our lives. But anyway, so Jack Kornfield, he quoted a Sufi poet whose name is Rumi, who some of you may have heard. I see you smiling. So he talks about meditation and what it may bring up, and relates it to just being human. And he says, this being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still greet each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So just kind of keep that in mind, as maybe you may have some dark thoughts or things come up. They're there. Okay. Now, to talk about the techniques for our sitting practice today, what we'll do is I'll give you a technique, then we'll meditate. I start the meditation with 3 bells. I end with 2 bells. And I invite you all after the ending bell to do a little hand bow with me. What we're doing is symbolically just honoring our practice. It's a special thing, so we'll just do that. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, don't worry about it. Okay, so posture. So you want to sit up straight, okay? If you're in a chair or a bench, if you can sit with your back straight. As I mentioned, if you would like get a zafu or a cushion behind your back to help you sit up straighter, feel free to do that. Why do we want to do that? Because we're going to be more paying attention and maybe less likely to fall asleep. Now it's a little warm in here. We may feel a little drowsy from the heat, but we're going to do our best, okay? So posture. So you're going to sit up straight. Now what are you going to do with your hands? People do different things with their hands. You can put your hands on your lap. You can put them on your knees if you're sitting on a cushion. Some people arrange their hands this way. It's called the cosmic mudra. You can try that. It just kind of gives you another concentration point besides the thoughts, like, oh, okay, let me just keep my thumb tips together. So whatever we could do to help us not to give in to all the thoughts. Okay, so that's the hands. Now the eyes. Some people prefer to meditate with their eyes closed. With Zen and other practices, we'll say have your eyes partially open. So your eyes are just cast down. So why is that? You're in your life still, but you're not like distracted by so many things around you. If it gets to be too difficult and your eyes are watering or they're uncomfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. When you choose your posture and how you're going to arrange your hands, make a commitment to that. Just to say to yourself, okay, until the next bell rings, I'm not going to move. Okay? Why would we say don't move? If you're moving, your mind might be more moving too, so still body, still mind could happen. Okay? So make a commitment. Of course, if something is hurting you, you need to change it, go ahead and do that. But try to make a commitment to that. Same with the eyes. Okay, so the next piece is your mind. What are you gonna do about your mind? Okay, so we're going to, and the breath. We're gonna use our breath as our focal point. So one way we can do it is breathing in, breathing out, 1. Breathing in, breathing out, 2. Of course, you're gonna say this silently to yourself. Some people like to go breath in 1, breath out 2. It doesn't matter how you do it, but try to make a commitment to how you're going to do it, okay? Now, what happens if you get up to 3 and you have a thought? You acknowledge the thought, thinking, or however you wanna label it or notice it, and then start over, okay? If you can get to 10, I'll be really amazed. It's really rare, okay? But some people have more control or more, I don't know, self-discipline. Okay, so sitting, hands, eyes, your mind, and your breath. So for this first meditation, we're just gonna focus on the breath, and the second one will add a little something to it, okay? So everybody go ahead and get in your posture that you're gonna be in, okay? And commit to that. We're gonna sit for roughly 20 minutes. It may sound like an eternity, and it may feel like that, and it may feel like less than that. So let's just see how we go. anytime you could wiggle around if you need to. I want to commend you all at sitting still. Did anybody find that was hard to sit still, wanted to wiggle around but didn't, or was it just like a not a thing? Made your commitment, sat still, no big deal. Yes.
I had an itch and I had to scratch it, but I at least resisted scratching it and I scratched it very mindfully.
Good for you. I've had the experience several times, like if I've been in a silent retreat, a long one, where some retreat, they don't even want you to like clear your throat, you know. I had a tickle in my throat. And I didn't, cough or do anything. And I could feel the sensation of intense itching on one side of the inside of my throat. Tears are rolling down my face. And I told a friend about that, and she said, "Why don't you just clear your throat?" And I'm like, "Oh, because I was trying to do something else." So, anybody else have an experience with being still, preferring not to be still, having a hard time sitting still? Any of that? Yes.
I had, for a while, I had my hands in the middle of my legs,
Yeah.
feet, and then I wanted to move them. It felt better to have them
Okay.
like this.
Because that's the other thing, is you don't want to have a mental struggle with yourself, like, okay, I really want my hands to be over here, but you said not to move, and what am I gonna do? And just move your hands, like just itch, right? And one of the things that we can ask ourselves is, oh, am I attached to being comfortable? We're Americans, we think we always have to be comfortable, but how attached am I to being comfortable? Like, I don't know if anybody else was sweating, but I could feel sweat. Anybody else have that experience? Like that was a little uncomfortable. Yeah. Anything more you want to say about that? Just sweating.
Just that I was able to leave it be. I mean, it started itching.
Yeah.
Because it was coming down.
Right. So were you kind of like just watching it, right? Well, it's an interesting opportunity because in our regular lives we don't do that. You have an itchy scratch, we don't even think about it. We're sweating, we go like this, we don't even think about it. So meditation being present moment awareness, we're pretty much aware of everything because that's all we got here. It's just our thoughts and our experiences. So I noticed that someone was smiling during the meditation. I'm looking at you. And I always remember Thich Nhat Hanh, the famous Zen master who recently passed away. I don't remember the quote exactly, but he was saying, breathing in something, breathing out, I smile. And they reminded me of that, So that's something you could experiment with too. You just have a little smile. Yes?
Breathing in, I feel joy. Breathing out, I smile.
That's it. Thank you. Yeah. And so, do that if you want to. No one should be looking at you, right? So no one's going to notice that you have a big grin on your face. So, okay, good. So, what I want to suggest for the next meditation, and it will be a little bit shorter because I want to get your feedback at the end and still want to get us out of here within the hour. We're going to do the same thing. Make your commitment to your posture. How am I going to sit? How am I going to hold my hands? What am I going to do with my mind? How are my eyes going to be? Oh, did anybody discover that their eyes were closed and they were getting sleepy and they had to open their eyes? Yeah, that can commonly happen. And that's an interesting thing. Until you get into meditation for a while, we're just not used to just being quiet, having nothing to do. So we just want to go to sleep. So I'm gonna bring that attention back. And sometimes having the eyes open a little can be helpful. If you have your eyes open a little bit more, you can take a little further close around and see what's happening. Maybe not the best, but okay. So the eyes, hands, and your mind. So we'll do the same thing. So you make your commitment to your posture, your hands, your eyes, what you're going to do with your mind. Now, the breath being the anchor, we're going to still do breathing in, breathing out, 1. If you're into counting. If you're not into counting, some people just feel the sensation, okay? That's fine too. I would also like to invite you to invite in sound. Okay, we're not trying to turn off sound, but even from time to time, look for the sound in your ears. Just listen right now. Anybody hear anything? What do you hear?
Sounds like an air conditioning unit or something.
Right. I hear the fans. Yeah. So there's always gonna be sounds, and even in silence, there's gonna be sound. So let that be part of your experience, unless it gets too distracting. Now, I'm gonna add a third element, and this may be too much, and if it becomes too much, just go back to whichever practice you like. I would like to invite you to consider the sensation of touch. So we're breathing, we're hearing sounds. Do you feel the air on your skin from the fan? I feel that. Do you feel the sensation of your back against the chair, legs against the cushion? So invite that in as well. Now, some people like to flip from one to the other, like breath for a few, and then sounds for a few, and touch for a few. However you may want to do that. Ultimately, if you can incorporate all. So with each breath, you're also hearing and sensing, right? And again, that may seem like a lot, especially if you're brand new. Like, how's my brand new meditator doing? Doing all right? Am I blowing out the water right now with giving you 3 things? You don't have to do it, okay? Keep it simple, especially for you, let's keep it simple, okay? But check that out, see how that works for you. If it feels awful, it's just too much to keep in your head, go back to the breath, okay? Questions before we get started again? Great. So we'll start with 3 bells and we'll end with 2. talk a little. Did anyone notice when the air conditioner went off, it got really quiet? Did you notice the contrast between the sound, which didn't seem all that loud before, but then suddenly it was silent? Anybody else notice that? What else did you notice? Did anyone try the 3 points and found it to be too much and went back to 1? It's fine, I just was wondering how you experienced it. Did you try that? And how was that for you?
I was able to stay with it mostly.
Okay.
I think probably was doing better with sound and touch.
Okay.
It's kind of like a focal point on my abdomen,
Right,
my
right.
breath.
Okay.
So I think I kind of lost the breath a little bit,
Uh-huh.
but I could feel it in my stomach, and I could definitely hear the sounds. And it was even sort of like enjoyable to hear the kids playing like these games. Last week I found it a little annoying. This week I found it a little more enjoyable.
Right, right. And the thing that you may notice when you're hearing a sound is your mind wants to go out and grab it. You know, what are those kids doing? Why are they making so much noise? Why is that dog barking? Or if you've ever been here and that flock of parrots flies over, oh, that's so cool. I wonder how long those parrots have been here. I wonder if they're the same parrots that are flying over people. You know, your mind just kind of goes until you realize, oh, wait, I'm meditating. I'll think about this stuff later. So you just catch yourself. We're so scattered all the time. We're always having a running dialogue with ourselves, and those are some of the things you're going to discover when you're meditating. Is what's going on in your head when you're meditating. When you get off the cushion, it's the same stuff. It's just you're not noticing it so much. Who else would like to share their experience? Yes,
I was real fidgety.
Fidgety.
One reason being it was the second 20 minutes, and I'd never meditated 40 minutes total.
Okay.
And when I was originally meditating the first time around, I had my legs crossed, and then for the second time, I realized my feet were asleep, and so I kept moving my feet around because I couldn't calm them down.
Yeah.
So I kept moving.
So did you think knowing that you're going to be sitting for a second 20 minutes just kind of got you a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Just to let you know, I think I did mention it was going to be shorter. And I always make the second one a little shorter. Maybe I just won't mention the time. Because, we have all kinds of ideas. Well, there's no way I can sit still for 20 minutes. And again, I have to say, mostly everybody was sitting really still. One of the things I first noticed when I first started coming to the Dharma Bum Temple after sitting at a Zen center for a long time, where you don't move, was people fidgeting in their chairs. And these chairs are squeaky, and it was like really distracting for me. So when you think about that, if you're able to commit yourself to your posture and not be moving around, the tendency is to keep your mind still because your body is still, and just knowing that you're not maybe distracting other people. So that could be helpful. Now, was anybody able to feel the sensation of like the air on your skin? Yeah. Did you notice it? Did that feel pleasant?
It's actually usually one of my anchors. I find it works better for me than the breath
Okay.
almost and sound. So I actually really enjoyed that second one. And I'm glad you said that we didn't have to count because I have OCD, and so counting the breath is
Right.
kind of just gets things going.
Right.
But yeah, I really enjoy just the sensation of moving air and then coupling that with the breath,
Right.
and it almost gives me a sense of wholeness and unity with what's going on around me, because it's like the air is moving around me and then it's moving in me and then back out.
Right.
It's like it's an unbroken channel all the way into my lungs, so just that thought
Right.
really helps me connect to the moment. So, and then the sounds, I totally agree. I appreciated hearing the kids playing. Just to really go outside my apartment, my person was like, "You kids, what are you doing?"
Yeah. Right.
But in this situation, it was like, it connected me a bit with my own inner child, because I know the exact sound of like the little truck they had.
Yeah, right.
So it was kind of, I really appreciated doing the 3 points at once.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Helped me really connect.
Because for some people that can be a lot, and some people do only the 2 or just the 1. And there's many different ways to meditate, as I'm sure you're all aware. And counting doesn't work for everyone. I tend to get a little crazy with the counting myself. I'll be like, in, out, maybe to 4, and then I'll have a thought. It's just a brief thought. Oh, do I have to count that? Or do I have to start over? And you start making these little bargains with yourself, and you realize, oh, that's me off the cushion too. So who you are in your meditation seat is who you are off your meditation seat too. So maybe tonight on your drive home or when you're going to sleep, think about, did I learn anything about myself today through my meditation? Was my meditation a reflection of me? Am I a reflection of my meditation? Because that's kind of what we're going to do. Like when Rumi was talking about all the visitors that come, there's going to be angry feelings, there's going to be judgmental feelings, there's going to be all kinds of good feelings, bad feelings. Everything's going to come to us, and how do we necessarily deal with them? If we have a thought that's, say, really pleasant, I like this thought. I want to just be with this thought for a while. I'm supposed to be meditating. Well, I just want to be with this thought, So sometimes something is really compelling and we almost have to give into it. But, see what you can do. Before I forget, I want to mention, most people find that the second sitting is easier than the first. Although I promise you the next time I won't say the time, so you won't know how long either one's going to be. I find for myself, my mind is more settled down for the second time. So I'm like, okay, I got all of the mental gyrations out of my head, and now I'm just going to sit here, and it's a little bit easier. So do other people, who felt the first one was easier? Okay, and who felt the second one was easier? And who thought they were the same? Didn't make any difference. Okay.
How long was the second one?
It seemed too short?
It seemed shorter for me.
Short, it was short, it was by 5 minutes, yeah, that was only 15, yeah. But sometimes too, once you've been sitting for a while, you think, oh, is she ever gonna ring that bell? And I've certainly had that experience thinking, oh, the timekeeper fell asleep, why is the bell not ringing, So you notice your patient's coming up, yes?
I used to go to this contemplative, Christian meditation sit, and the timekeeper would always fall asleep, and I got so anxious.
I know, right?
And then I always wake up in time to ring the bell. It was one of the funniest things.
And that could bring up trust issues, right? And what are you gonna do? I did want to mention, if you have the opportunity, the first Saturday of every month here at the Dharma Baba Temple is, they call it a half day of silence. It's 4 hours of meditation. It's not 4 hours sequentially, okay? It's like you sit for 25 minutes, you get a break for about 5 minutes, sit again. There's a walking meditation down the block. And so it's a chance for you to deepen your practice, okay? So give that a thought. You may not want to do it. And no one's going to make you stay. If all you can make is an hour or 2 hours or whatever, and you need to walk out, you just walk out, so don't worry. So I want to thank you all for sharing your practice here with me and with all of us. And before you head out, our Dharma Bum host in the back there, Vicki, has a few announcements.
I'm Vicki, house. Thank you, everyone. This day, we've been in the Dharma Bum Temple 17 years ago to introduce Buddhist practice to those who show up. Those who lead are not nuns, monks, gurus, masters, or teachers, and are not looking for students. They are simply practitioners sharing their interpretation of the practice. Every night we have different classes led by different people from various Buddhist traditions. We have a recovery saga that meets several times a week for anyone with addiction, and our food redistribution program is every Thursday at 5. We have classes and programs every day, and everything we offer here is free. The full schedule is on our website and also posted outside the entryway above the shoe rack. We have a lending library. If you see a book you like, feel free to borrow and then bring it back whenever you're done. If you could please straighten your seat or cushion before you head out. And if a few people could stay and help close and latch the windows, that would be great. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, everyone. Drive safe.
What time does the 4-hour meditation start?